This first poem is called Didn't You Learn? The intrusion of air into stone, of water, of time that carves its legacy into the landscape. Can you look at a person and tell who sculpted them? Once I was a fully formed body, I became a tree that had to be trained not to grow through the fence. With rope, with ties and barriers, the snapping of will over time. Once I was a fully formed body, it became impossible not to feel the intrusion of other people's will onto me. I always talk about my family in terms of nature. In the river's bend, in trees, in the different colors of a garden, but my family is the quiet kitchen and then the boiling over. My family is the glance up, the search for approval. My family is not looking down. The intrusion of air where there should be language, where there should be music. My family and their cavernous hearts, unsatisfied by the questions they are always filled with. Didn't you learn? Didn't you learn? What happened to you? My family and the earthquakes that shook us apart like continents, that spread our blood like salt water running through canals. The intrusion of air where there should be a homeland, where there should be memories, where there should be anything tethering this body back to the countries I am supposed to be allowed to feel at home at. Don't you learn? Don't you learn? I know now. The intrusion of hammer into stone, the turning of faces into untouchable statues, museum art, for the history books and never for my family's hands. I do not know what it is that sculpted me. This next poem is called Tourist. As if my whole body is just surface. As if I could peel away my skin, as if I could strip away, as if removing parts would somehow make me into who I was always meant to be. A child of spirit, a child of trees flowering out of my fingernails, rows of classrooms, rows of offices all stacked up in my straight spine, a child of a nation, a child whose body is a nation. I want to be who I was always meant to be. Some days I am all body. I am all stomach, all knuckles and knees and dead skin. Other days I am the great-granddaughter of a country in which I am a tourist. I could say I am just an American tourist in Japan, but that's not the full story. The truth is I am always a tourist in my own body. And America, her soil knows this about me, that I am not a child of spirit, that I am flesh and blood and hers in all my colors. And despite it all, I do not think she wants me if I'm like this. Even though generations of my family have made me America's daughter, I still cry for phantom limbs. I still hurt as though my skeleton belongs somewhere else, for countries I can never call home. Sometimes I feel more split than mixed. Explosions defining the strongest borders in my blood. And in this way, I am a child of nations. In this way, my body understands more about history than I ever will. Yes. Okay. Thank you. This is my last poem. It's called Like I'm Not Proud. But I don't want you to remember me for being broken. I don't want my face to become fractional in your mind. I don't want you to think I am not proud. Like nobody in my family came here knowing they deserve a better life, or that their children did. Like I don't cherish the fact that that spirit still lives in my last name. Do you also feel the pressure to bear your pain instead of your pride? To tell a story about all the things the body creates for you to fight? And this is not a call to ignore all the times history has reduced your body to blood. This is not a way to excuse the pain even the places you call home will cause you. This is not even trying to bury the time you've turned your teeth on someone who you mistook for the enemy. It is just to say that for too long, I have been defining my identity by only how it has hurt me. Like my parents don't have stories to tell me. Like I don't love how easily my name tells you this part of who I am. Like I don't want everything after that to tell you how I am more proud than I am broken. Thank you.